So watching film helps you improve your game in many ways. So I could break it down and give you a scientific reasoning over why watching film helps you improve your game. But it's as simple as this. Simply watching the game is going to get you better. There's no other way to put it. Simply watching basketball and watching with the intention to improve and increase your basketball IQ will get you better at the game of basketball. So I want to break down how I watch basketball, how I increase my IQ, and the tools and the tips that I use that I think could help you. Home page right here, and I'm on last night's games. So as you can see, last night there were 10 games on. When there's 10 games on, 11 games, 8 games, that happens a lot in the NBA. I choose 4 games to focus on. So the 4 games that I chose to focus on yesterday were the Lakers and the Spurs. It was the Nets and the Knicks. It was the Suns and the Thunder, and it was the Nuggets and the Pelicans. So I choose 4 games to focus on. All the other games are on in the background. Something like the Timberwolves and the Kings, I had on in the background, but I didn't even realize that De'Aaron Fox right here, he dropped 60 points. So that's a game that I'm definitely gonna go back and watch today. So let's recap the first part of the process. Grab yourself 2 electronic devices, grab yourself 2 screens, put on a game on each. Watch them all the way through and don't get distracted. After those 2 games are over, watch the next 2 games. So for me, I have extra screens. I have 4. I actually have 5. I have a monitor. I need to figure out how to set this up. But with 4 screens and I use multi-stream, I could watch up to 6 games at once. I do that because I don't want to get bored or distracted. So there's always a game for me to watch. I watch the bulk of the games the day after so that I can skip all the breaks, all the commercial breaks, all the free throws. So now let me show you the process for what I do the day after, where I show you how I use AI to increase my basketball IQ. So I use something called Perplexity AI. I'll have the link in the description. This is an AI search engine. So I'll look up something like this. Can you give me a summary of last night's NBA games? Let's go quick. Each of last night's games. So then we'll look this up and I'll show you how it breaks it down. Alright, so sometimes AI does this, so I told her to give me every game. It only gave me 6. So I had to just clarify it. There were 10 games on. So here it is. All 10 games, it gives me a quick summary. So I'm able to just look over it. I can see a summary of each game. The Timberwolves and the Kings. Sacramento Kings triumphed over the Minnesota Timberwolves, high scoring game. Domantas Sabonis played a key role for the Kings. Now something like this, so when I look over the film, when I look over the game, I know to look out for Domantas Sabonis. But let me show you how to get that a little more detailed. I want to watch the Timberwolves versus the Kings. I can basically create like a scouting report for myself before I watch the game. So I'll ask it, can you give me a detailed breakdown of the Kings versus the Timberwolves from last night and key things to look for as a basketball coach. So let me show you the secrets right now. So it gives me a quick overview of the game. High scoring, closely contested game, showcased both teams' offensive capabilities. So then we have key performances. So it shows that De'Aaron Fox had his 60 points, 26 in the 4th quarter and overtime, and then I get even, his percentages. And then we have Domantas Sabonis, key performance, double-double with 23 points and 12 rebounds. So then we have for the Wolves, we have Anthony Edwards. He led the Wolves with 36 points. And then you have Julius Randle, 26 points, 5 assists. So then here it breaks down the game flow. So then the Wolves built a 20-point lead in the second half. The Kings mounted a good comeback. So little things like this, starting the 4th quarter with a 14-0 run, right? So when I'm rewatching the game, once the 4th quarter starts,
I know to tune in and pay attention and see, how did the Kings start off to a 14-0 run? How did the Timberwolves give up 14 points? And then you even have a breakdown of the field goal, a 3-point, free throws, rebounds, assists, everything. Just right there in a nice little table. And then this is where it's like golden. Key takeaway for coaches. So I know to pay attention to defensive adjustments. Any team erasing a 20-point deficit is going to have good defensive adjustments. So we have star player management. That's a beautiful thing to look for. So we could watch, how does the teams react to De'Aaron Fox going off? How does his teammates react? How does the opposing coach react? We have the 3-point shooting. So we have a factor. The Timberwolves shot a lot better than the Kings, and that was a significant factor in their victory. So I know to pay attention to that. Were the Kings putting up bad shots, or were they just missing good shots? They have fewer turnovers and more steals. And every detail, the Timberwolves had 7 players in double figures. So them scoring 130 points, I'm thinking the whole team was probably on fire. And this is before I even watched the game. It tells me to watch out for the Timberwolves' shot selection and defensive stops in the overtime. So when the overtime starts, I know what to look for. A key point about rebounding: despite losing, the Kings out-rebounded the Timberwolves. So I could pay attention to that. That's probably how they came back in the second half. Both teams shot well from the free throw line. So right here, in close games, free throws matter. So I could see where key free throws missed. The Kings attempted 20 free throws compared to the Timberwolves 16. And then the Kings were also without DeMar DeRozan and Malik Monk.
So that's pretty much it. So the night of, I try to watch 4 games. The next day, I'll use Perplexity to get a summary of all the games. And then the games that I want to watch, I'll ask it for a detailed report, read that. Then I have NBA League Pass. If you're going to watch all these games, you need NBA League Pass. So on NBA League Pass, I could watch every single possession. I'll just skip past the free throws. The game will take me about 45 minutes to watch. I'll have a notebook right in front of me. I write down notes as I watch. And then watching a game will take me about an hour. I try to spend 4 to 6 hours a day watching games. So for 10 games, I watched 4 the night of. And then I'll watch 3 or 4 the day after with the old possessions. And that's how I keep up and watch all the games. So let me know if that helps. Let me know if you're going to do this in your routine. And then, yeah.